So these 2 weekends are really about, first one, the structure of a conversation. So the invitation, creating a sense of possibility, discovering what the values are, nurturing the experiences that those values are in service of, so that when people experience what they really care about, you can midwife that. You can take that deeper. And then give them to a point where they realize that there's a next step for them to take, and give them direction so that they can take that step powerfully with your assistance through your help. Next weekend, really about the process of dealing with the unconscious patterns of the people you're communicating with. How do you speak into their listening? How do you address the concerns that they don't even know to tell you because they just don't have that kind of insight into the kinds of answers that they need in order to take a step forward? How do you learn what those are so that you can guide them through their own experience powerfully? So it's about clarifying outcomes, connecting their outcomes to the deeper experience of source, distinguishing what are the obstacles in the way of them actually taking action and getting what they want, and then transcending those limitations, transcending those obstacles in a way that they actually get in touch with the deeper strength that's being expressed as a defense. And then integrating all of those values, the positive and the negative, the potential and the concerns, into a single desire, so that you can then have them commit to action, where they actually go from, that's a good idea, to, yes, I want to work with you. Yes, I am willing to step forward. So that's communication, those 2 weekends. And then we go to the last 2 weekends, and we call this cause. Cause, we can say, this is the delivery of the actual service, right? You have been clear about your context, who you are, how you present yourself, what's your place in the world, in this interpersonal dynamic. Who are you? You've translated that into a series of messages so that when people come in to find you, they can go from, who is this, to, that's who that is. That's someone who would be interesting to have a conversation with, to move further. You've moved through that conversation to the point where they've said, yes, I want to work with you. Let's get started. Now you're actually working with them. This is what this is about. Now, a lot of people, when they're in that place, all they do is they just perform the service, right? Someone comes into my office, I perform the service, we're done with the session, and they leave. And that's certainly a valid way of doing it. But what this course is about, it's about bringing everything together into your authentic expression in the world. And your authentic expression in the world is to impact the world. It's to bring your gift to more and more people so that they can get the gift that you offer, and so that you can get the experience of interacting with the world, of bringing your gift to one another, making an impact, having a difference. So one way of doing that, or the way that we're really going to focus on in this course, is to make sure that you bring the context, the content, and your communication in to each step of the actual delivery of your service. So that it's not just that you're delivering your service, but that the service is an expression of the deeper vision, the deeper experience of you giving your gift. So the stages of the actual process: setting boundaries. Here's what we're going to do, here's what we're not going to do, so they know what to expect. Anticipation. Here's what you're going to experience. We're going to do this, this, and this, and you're going to end up here, so that they have a place to anticipate going to. And then what I call dancing, or the actual delivery. This is where you put your attention on them, you open up your genius and your intelligence, and you give your gifts, responding to the truth, the reality of who they are. Then, both while you're doing the process and afterwards, you review. Okay, so here's what we did, and here's how what we did fit into everything that I've been talking about up to this point. And this is where you begin to bring the delivery into the overall context, or bring the overall context into the delivery. And then strategies: what are your next steps? How do they move forward? And then what I call fish and fishing, which is really about not only offering them the particular experience, but giving them structures so that they can begin to create the experience for themselves. That way they keep coming to you for the next level and the next level, rather than coming back to you for the same thing over and over. And it's that deepening, that expression, that begins to take the cause of your context, content, and communication into a living, breathing experience and relationship. And that brings us to last weekend, which is what we call care. And you might notice that there's a red boundary or border around each of the first 4 sections. That red border is the care. It's the purpose, the values, the sweetness that has you do all of this, that has you be concerned with authentic business rather than just business, or rather than just authenticity. How do you want to bring your insights, your gifts to the world in a way that makes a difference because you care? So care. And this is about how do you manage the relationship that you've built. You want to check the ecology. How did the work that you did fit in with their lives? Does it lead them to blossom overall? If there's any follow-up or follow-through to be done, how do you manage that? What's the feedback they have for you? What do they have to give you such that you can do your job better? And perhaps such that you can give them more that you didn't give them in the actual sessions that you did. And then compliments or complementary processes. What else can you offer them that goes beyond the original service that adds to it? Or who can you refer them to? What complementary services can you connect them with? And then testimonials. What did they get and how can they express it from a simple, authentic truth of the value that they gave you, or the value that you gave them, such that you can offer that to future clients as what's possible for them. And the last is referrals. How do you use all of the energy that you've been building up all of this time so that when they get the gift, they say, let me help you give this gift to other people, because they recognize that you've given them a gift and that it's a gift for them to give your gift to other people. So we can say that those are the 10 weekends. Those are the different distinctions that we're going to be going through piece by piece, which each of the distinctions we're going to be having you have a video, learn the distinctions. You come in, we actually apply those distinctions in an exercise, and then we do circling about what comes up in the exercise. And so the weekends are actually going to be pretty darn structured. We're going to be going through each of the pieces, doing exercise so that you can take the ideas into concrete actions, doing circling about what comes up, and then giving you homework such that we can use them in the teleseminars and the circling, so that between each weekend you're actually taking this set of possibilities, this set of ideas, and turning it into a concrete business plan that you execute over the course of the 10 months of the course or the 11 months of the course. So that's the overall structure of the course. That's actually what we're going to be doing.